So this is a pretty informal workshop. You know, I don't really have too much of a program here, and I'm happy to take questions about anything banjo related or otherwise, I guess. But I'm just going to play some
feedback
coming in hot. I'll play a tune or two for you here, and if anybody's got any specific. Okay, let's just if you're here, if you like want to hear like technical stuff about the banjo, talk like nerd banjo stuff, raise your hand if that's what you're here for. Okay, so not a whole lot. Great, that's cool. If it was a lot, I would just like start talking about banjo nerd stuff, but I won't do that to you. But feel free, any of y'all, to ask any question at any point, and I'll answer it. I'll try to not bore the non-banjo pickers too much. Anyway, here's one by the Stanley Brothers. It's called The Worried Man Blues. Well, I went to the river, I laid down to sleep. I went to the river, I laid down to sleep. Said I went to the river and I laid down to sleep. When I woke, had shackles on my feet. But it takes a worried man to sing a worried song. It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. I'm worried now, but I won't be worried long. Shackles on my feet, Lord, 21 links of chain. Shackles on my feet, Lord, 21 links of chain. Shackles on my feet, talking about 21 links of chain. But you'll never put no shackles on my brain. No, it takes a worried man to sing a worried song. It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. I'm worried now, but I won't be worried long. What's to be my fine? I asked the judge, what'll be my fine? I asked that judge, what'll be my fine? 21 years on the Rocky Mountain line. But it takes a worried man to sing a worried song. It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. I'm worried now, but I won't be worried long. Well, I'm worried now, but I won't be worried long. Oh, thank you. We got a question.
Yeah, when you're doing your roll stuff, you leave.
We got any John Hartford fans in the house?
Oh yeah!
Question? Oh, and we got a microphone for questions. Great.
I was just wondering, what are some ways I can incorporate individual melody notes in my rolls?
Okay. Kind of. One of the things is that one of the like. That's a tough question. One way to do it is to like focus on one finger, like, you know, trying to use like one finger as the note, the melody note picker, you know, within a roll. think of what would be something for that. Okay, well, I'm just going to keep using this Worried Man Blues because I keep playing it, and we're already heard it a bunch of times. So what I'll do now, this isn't exactly how I was playing it, but what I'm going to do now is use forward rolls and only play that melody note with my index finger. So like first I'll just do the... Right, and I'm just going index, index, index on all that stuff. And now if I build a roll around that, does that sort of make, like, I'm just like being really deliberate about choosing that melody with one finger. So I'm kind of like trying to deliberately play the melody, but almost separate the melody from the roll in my mind, even though they're not separated on the instrument. And that's like, that would allow you to like change that part of it, you know, like improvise, maybe improvise with which melody notes you're choosing. Is that kind of what you mean?
Yeah, I kind of understand what you're saying.
Do you play banjo? Obviously you play banjo. Yeah. Do you play much like Scruggs stuff?
Oh, yeah, I like
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I have the best answer for that question.
No, it's all right. I have a hard time sometimes getting the melody in there with the rolls.
Yeah.
So fast.
Yeah. I mean, I think that just keeping it as simple as possible maybe is the best thing. You know, figuring out the melody you want to play, and then trying to only put a couple of roll notes around it. You know, instead of worrying about being able to like make it be a fully functional forward roll that all those melody notes fit in. You know, it's like, you know, smooth it out a little bit, get the melody in there and get a couple little extra, you know, like two-finger style banjo is that old-time stuff. I don't really do any of it, but that's a cool example of like, they're not quite playing rolls because they're only using two fingers, but you still get a lot of melody and these little extra banjoisms in there, you know? Yeah. Yeah, clawhammer kind of, and like two finger, which was two finger was like the bridge the gap between, well, they used two fingers before they used three fingers. Imagine that. Yeah. You gonna say something, man?
I have a couple things. I'll try and keep it short. First of all, you
microphone, right?
Banjo being
Hold on. There you go.
The banjos being the progressive side. I mean, typically in bluegrass you don't have a drum set, so you're setting the rhythm for the rest of the band.
Right.
So I play guitar, not very well, but
me too.
Are there songs where I'm like kind of slapping the body? Are there songs that you do that to get
With that thing?
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Not really. The closest I get to something like that is like, I do a little like rhythm, sometimes like strum thing. It's like not clawhammer, right? Because clawhammer would be like, that's terrible. But clawhammer is like note plucking, right? The thing that I'm doing is basically just using these fingers and whoa, there's a spider on my mouth. That's a trip. That's really a trip. This is like a. This has like happened a couple times before, and it's happened to my dear buddy Jeff Austin a couple of times too back in the day. Anyway, so it's a long, complex story, but this is like, it's like a sign, I think, to me. It actually is a sign. That's pretty cool. strummy thing is just a little bit. It's because it's hard to play rolls and sing, you know. So I sort of sometimes will do this to when I'm singing to. One, make it a little bit easier to sing, and two, sort of try to, especially if I'm playing solo banjo, try to break up it's a lot of pick it. So, you know, something else in there is a little bit nice sometimes. Dream a little dream of you, a tiny dancer in a field of blue, a pointed toe Tchaikovsky played to bend you down so lowly. Your raven hair makes me mad, your insane eyes, they make me sad. It's a California feeling and the Mississippi smile makes me come on slowly. I'm trying to be all cool and soft, take a little chance of turning you off. I want to get to know you just because of love makes me come on slowly. It isn't that I wouldn't want to make it all come true, my baby. If I had a chance to be alone with you, I'm watching how you operated when the chips are down. It makes me come on slowly. Calculate the perfect time another dancer's gait and the numbered steps to fall between ever-changing oh so slowly, where the air is thick as water parts and one dream ends and one dream starts. From the bottom of the ocean to the shiny mountaintop, both come together slowly. I'm trying to be all cool and stuff, take a little chance and show you just enough. I want to get to know you just because of love makes me come on slowly. There isn't any corner that I wouldn't get to know, from your little pointer finger to your pinky toe. I'm watching how you operated when the chips are down, makes me come on slowly. Everybody stayed up here the whole time. Oh, sorry. Let's get the microphone for you.
What makes makes it more challenging to keep a banjo in tune versus other similar instruments?
What's the definition of perfect pitch? When the banjo makes it into the dumpster without hitting any of the edges. Are you commenting on my tuning? Is that a comment on my tuning? Because I am self-conscious about it. Thank you. No, I'll tell you what it is. I think it's three things. I think it's three things. One, this is like a drum head, right? So it's like stretched tight over the rim of the banjo, right? And it's made of plastic, but it's still like, they used to be made of skin, like a calf skin, cow skin or something like that, sheepskin, and that would be like very the weather would affect that hugely, right? I mean, even like a couple of degrees is like your thing is going to loosen, and when it loosens or tightens, you're raising or lowering the bridge, which is just sitting on top of that skin head, and any change in that, you're out of tune immediately, right? So, and like a skin head would be way more difficult to keep in tune than a plastic one, but a plastic one is still weather affected for sure. I guess the second thing of the three things is the combination of the fact that the bridge is just sort of floating and the tailpiece is just sort of floating down here. So like with a guitar, if you want to restring a guitar, you can just take all the strings off. It sits there fine with no strings, you put it back together. This thing, if you take all the strings off at the same time, it just falls apart. And so like you can only change one string at a time because you got to keep, or maybe two, but that's risky, because the tension holding all this stuff together, right? So the fickleness of all of that, and then the last thing that makes it difficult to tune is like with a guitar and with other instruments, pretty much every other instrument in the world, you got your low strings down here and your high strings up here, whatever that neck is shaped like. But the banjo's got this extra special short cool string that makes it the best instrument, that sits up here, which is why it can do all this like, all that there's no way that you could do that without that fifth string, right? But it does a super weird thing to the tension, to where all the tension sits up here, because typically you wouldn't have this one other extra thing pulling it back. That only comes halfway up the neck and is a shorter, lighter, you know what I'm saying? So it's all that makes it hard. And there's a bunch of metal too. So like for example, when you get cold, if you go out in the cold, metal, I guess, contracts, I think, or something. And that's another thing too. The banjo will just immediately go flat as soon as you get in colder weather. Just something about the metal changes, and that changes how your plastic's stretched over the metal, because now the metal's a new size, and you're out of tune again.
Was the banjo your first instrument, and if not, what brought you to it, and how long have you been playing?
The guitar was my first instrument, and I started, my grandparents, when I was a little kid, my grandparents had this toy guitar, and I just like banged on it and sang gibberish songs when I was 2 years old. They like couldn't stop me playing this toy guitar all the time. So they put me in guitar lessons when I was about 5, and I played guitar my whole life, and then when I was 17, I was getting into bluegrass music. I was like playing electric guitar, shred metal stuff, playing in punk rock bands and stuff. And I started getting into bluegrass music on guitar, and then my grandparents also amazingly had an old Silvertone banjo like in the closet that nobody played, and they were just like, so for my 17th birthday, they were like, oh, maybe you want this, And I was like, the first time I was like, I was just like, woohoo! I found it! And that was 22 years ago. So I've been playing banjo for 22 years. Mm-hmm. just hit him with the traveling recurrence. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about playing the banjo before, during, and after, like a banjo being in every pop band maybe a decade ago, like Mumford and Sons, and just like the rise of popular banjo and then sort of cooling off?
What do I think about it?
Yeah, just curious.
Well, you know, they don't. I'm more into the pop banjo. There's no one that really plays. Sorry, I shouldn't say it on a microphone. There's nobody that really plays the banjo the way that I like it played necessarily in that music, you know. So it's not. I would happily do a session for them or something like that, you know. But it's not. I'm not really like after that part of it. So I would say it's like kind of just not on my radar, you know. And actually Matt Menefee plays with Mumford. He may be on some of those records. But he goes out on the road with them like as a utility guy. I think he has to play some dobro and maybe some guitar too. But Matt Menefee, if you're not familiar with him, is one of the top of the pyramid of banjo technicians in the world. He's an incredible player. So it's been really cool, and like he's on tour with him right now still. That has been great, you know, for him. I mean, my buddy's out there making money because of pop banjo. So. And maybe, you know, I guess that does spill over into people hearing that and being like, oh, I should have banjo on my record. And I'm sure that I've gotten some work probably in my life because of it. So I'm all for that, you know.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. God, they sound good, don't they?
John Hartford.
Yeah.
Thank you. Not a banjo nerd question, but a music nerd question. How do you think about practicing? We've heard so much improv this, you know, yesterday, today, everybody. How do you think about practicing, learning to improvise?
Yeah, that's a really heady question, right? Like how do you practice making something up? You just have to make things up a lot, I think, and I think improvisation. You know, I was thinking about this because I got to do a panel, I think coming up at Cave Fest in a couple weeks about this topic exactly, like, you know, improvisatory banjo and sort of how it all works and what do you think about it. And I think the thing is, like, you got to just basically, you know, you want to practice. Hey, Ron. You want to practice. You know, all the musical things, scales, chord shapes, picking patterns, rolls, all those things. Those are tools, right? They're the tools that you have to work with. And then you get in a situation like stop hopping up here, you know, on stage, and it's time to improvise. You basically just have to use the tools that you have, you know. And the more tools you got, the less limits you have, maybe, or something. Does that make sense? You know, I mean, you don't want to. You got to have some licks. You know, you got to have some licks that are good enough to play, but you don't want to only play your licks over and over again, because then it becomes apparent that you're not improvising per se, right? You know, but then it's a fine line of like, okay, well, what is improv? Is only improvisation literally playing something that has never ever been played before? Like, I don't think it is. I think it's using. You can play licks and be improvising, right? You can be using improvising in between your licks and yeah, it's a pretty heady question, I think, and I feel like it's language makes it hard to talk about that too. Like it's music, it's sound, you know, and we're trying to use words. So that's a bit of a roadblock too, I think, sometimes. And even in education too, you know, in music education, I mean, that's a big part. You know, we go to music school and we put everything on boards and we got word names for all these scales and all this stuff. A lot of those cats that were, you know, Wes Montgomery is one of the greatest jazz guitar players you're ever going to hear, and he couldn't tell you what that stuff is. He doesn't know how to say what a minor 7/5 chord is, but he can play the hell out of it, you know. And so that's one place that I struggle with you know, music instruction too, because it's like you kind of just got to do it, you know, just do it, play it, do it as much as you can do it till you've done it to death, and then you'll be good at it. The 10,000 hours thing, you know. That's a rambling answer, but yeah.
Would you say the biggest trick is getting back to home base?
Yeah, I mean, that's where you're going to fail the most, but probably, you know, you paint
when you
yourself
get out
way up,
there,
you know, way up the neck and then into a, you know, it's cold up there, man. How you going to get back to, you know.
Being able to get back to home.
Yeah.
The root note.
Yeah. Well, and that's another, again, that's one of the tools, right? Like you building your toolbox, you know, knowing how to get places, knowing how to get back to other places, knowing what little pieces of connective tissue hold all that stuff together, make it sound like you know what you're doing, even when you don't. Yeah.
How do you play dueling banjos with one banjo? How do you play dueling banjos with one banjo?
I don't know. I guess you could go, and then. You know, actually, it only had one banjo because it was a banjo and a guitar originally. So that's how you do it with the only one banjo. See the captain, strangest I could find. Laid my proposition down, laid it on the line. I won't slave for the beggar's pay, likewise gold and jewels. But I would slave to learn the way to sink your ship of fools, a ship of fools. On a cruel sea, a ship of fools, sail away from me. It was later than I thought when I first believed you, and now I cannot share your laughter, ship of fools. I saw your first ship just sink and drown from the rocking of the boat. All that could not sink or swim was just left there to float. I won't leave you drifting down, but Lord, it makes me wild, with 39 years upon my head, to have you call me child, a ship of fools. On a cruel sea, ship of fools, sail away from me. It was later than I thought when I first believed you, and now I cannot share your laughter, ship of fools. bottle stands as empty as it was filled before. Time there was and plenty, from that cup no more. And though I could not caution all, still I can warn a few. Well, don't lend your hand to raise no flag atop no ship of fools, a ship of fools on a cruel sea. A ship of fools sail away from me. It was later than I thought when I first believed you, and now I cannot share your laughter, ship of fools. It was later than I thought when I first believed you, and now I cannot share your laughter, ship of fools. See, now for something completely different in the solo banjo world. Let's see if I can pull this off. Shucks, thank you, folks. Well, we got just about 3 more minutes here. We got any more questions? Yeah, we get right in the back there. Yeah.
How hard was it to transition from playing Jeff going out to solo after that?
You know, I learned a lot from playing with Jeff. A lot that I sort of didn't plan on learning. You know, from somebody like that. I mean, he just had such an incredible stage presence, you know, and ability to sort of just get everybody riled up and on the same, get everybody to understand that we're all in this together. We're doing the same thing. We're all here for the same reason. I might be up here and you might be out there, but we're here for the exact same thing, you know. When you spend so much time so close to somebody like that, you know, I think you can't help but soak some of that up, you know, and so I don't know, you know, I mean, to me, I just try to carry some of that with me, as much of that with me every time I'm lucky enough to get to stand up here and do what I do, you know. And every now and then, when you get a sign like a little Spidey coming down on the mic, it makes you feel like you're doing it right, you know, sometimes. So, a little bit, you know. Jason.
Speaking of Jeff, he once said that you are able to bend space and time with your banjo. I was wondering, can you explain how you bend space and time?
Yeah, it looks a lot like this. You know, at least that's how you start, anyway. And that's again, you know, that's the kind of crap, that's the kind of thing that you only can learn. You only learn that when Jeff is in your face, headbanging and sweating on you, and the room is going nuts, and it's like you think you've played everything you can play, and it's like, nah, man, there's just more. He's looking at you like there's more. You're not done. It's like, okay, I guess I'm not done. You know, and the next thing you know, yeah.
Can I see your punk rock belt?
Yeah, I bought this belt when I was, I think, 15 years old, and I'm still wearing it, and I'm on the same notch.
Well done, well done.
It's all that good, clean jamgrass living right there.
All right, that's going to conclude our questions. On behalf of Baygrass, thank you for sharing your passion of music with us. Thank you for sharing your amazing banjo. And I invite everybody to come over. We're going to do a toast to Kyle and the Bay. Come on over to this table right over here at the Bay Garden Village.